We're here.
This is depressing.
So depressing.
Oh, God. I guess this
Not
is why
fun.
we do it.
I guess so. There we go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bank Phillies podcast, playoff edition, I guess you could say. I am your host, Pete, along with my co-host, Henry. What is up, my guy?
I'm at a loss for words, man. It hasn't hit me yet. The season's over.
I know.
I mean, that group of guys is not going to get a championship. Like that, this specific team as it's constructed right now, the season's over. There's no, we'll win tomorrow. There's no, all right, let's see what happens next year. No, nope, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's, like you said, for me, it's like all day, it's just been kind of like a slow day of just like thinking about certain things and like listening to WIP and all this other stuff, man. And it's just like, why are we back in this same spot again? Like, why?
It's worse. It's worse.
It is. And I just feel like I've been fooled. Like, I feel like I've been a joke on me. Like, it's just like annoying. And I hate to feel that way. But like, this is like what this team has done to this fan base, you know? And I know certain people are going to say, oh, well, we saw it coming, or, you know, we knew this was going to happen, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you could say that. But in the back of our minds, like, we knew that was there, but we were just hoping that it didn't come true. We were hope that they were just going to turn things around, or, you know, just get on track and have the week off and be okay and be ready for the playoffs. And I mean, ever since that Schwarber leadoff homer in game 1, I mean, we were there. I mean, it was that moment was amazing. And after that, it just felt like everything was just like tense outside of like game 2's, like the later in the innings with the walk-off and stuff. Other than that, it just always felt like we were trying to dig out of a hole that we put ourselves into. And we just, it just felt like they were always pressing for some reason. And as a fan, like, you're stressing, you know, just because it's playoff baseball in general, you're going to stress. And you're just sitting there and you're just waiting for something good to happen. You're waiting for them to just like get something together, grab momentum. And it just seemed like at any time they didn't. And listen, as much as I hate the Mets, and it annoys me that it just had to be them, they're just on a hot streak right now. And they're just playing good baseball. And I feel like everything was really just going their way. Like, unfortunately, it reminded me of us in 2022. And it just, it didn't make me feel good at all. Like, I just watching it throughout the whole series, as you know, from the start. And like I said, it's just that thought we had in the back of our minds with the offense and stuff like that. It eventually came true. And that's why they're early exit out of October.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. Like, I feel like
there was a lot to say.
There's a lot to say, and we will say a lot. Trust me. But it's just like, how do you let that happen again to a division right? And like you said, you know, we hate the Mets and stuff, but they outplayed us.
Yeah,
they're the better team. And let's be perfectly frank here. They were the better team almost all season. Because but honestly, think about it. From when we went to London to and since,
yeah,
they're I think they were like the Phillies were, I believe, like 50-48 or something crazy like that, and the Mets were like 65-35. It's with the best record in the MLB since that point. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
like they were better than us. They were better than us. And Castellanos is up there giving him credit and stuff, and you know, credit to him. But I just, dude, some of these post-game quotes that I'm seeing come out are just like, if you guys had a true leader, you wouldn't be saying these things. And specifically, I'm talking about Trey Turner, which we'll get into this stuff in a little bit. But like, it's just, dude, to me, I don't know how you look at the beginning of the season and from spring training on, you're sitting there going, there's one prize, one prize, one prize. Milton says, get my effing trophy back. All that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, and I heard a lot of people today on the radio and everywhere else say, like, if you're talking about it that early, there's something wrong. Like let's just, let's pump the brakes a little bit. This is a long season. It's the longest season there is in sports.
Yeah.
162 games. Like, I mean, what? 11 wins at least through the playoffs if you win the World Series.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know why that happened. That's my biggest thing. I don't know why that happened. And last year I was sad because I was just in shock. This year I'm mad. I'm mad now. I'm mad. And some people have different definitions of mad because like I heard some people saying like, well, I'm not sad. Like, I'm not mad. I'm just, confused, blah, blah. I'm just angry at the fact that all year they had this message about winning the big one and anything short of it's a failure. Well, what is one win in the playoffs considered? Because it's not a win. It's not a plus, and it's a failure. It's a massive, massive failure that's going to bring a lot of changes. A lot of changes. And I'm not talking about just role player guys or whatever. I'm talking from the front office down. There's going to be a lot of changes.
For sure, yeah. And the other thing I think about too is like, we talked about it at certain points, over the season. It was probably a lot more like earlier in the season, whatever. Might have been when they were doing good, but of like the whole point of like, don't do what the 2011 team did, where it was like they kind of just like waiting until October got here and they were just kind of coasting along for the rest of the season, depending on how well they did to close out the regular season. And now you look back on it and you're almost thinking like, that's what seems like they did is they just coasted for the most part and was just hoping that things were going to turn around in October. And it didn't. And it's unfortunate because it did seem like they got complacent, at times this season. And we did realize it. We did notice it and people did bring it up. And it's not like we were ignoring it. But, when you're in the moment and you're supporting your team all year, you try to just not think about the negative part. And you're just like, all right, listen, like, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of months. But at the same time, like I said, that thought is still in the back of your mind that like, okay, this can go haywire at any second. Doesn't matter who we're playing or what time of October. And I don't know. It's like, and then like the quote from JT last night, like after the game, talking about being complacent and stuff like that. It stood out to me because I didn't like the message. I don't like the way he said it. And this is the quote. He said, "We were just hoping. We knew we weren't playing our best baseball coming into the postseason, but we were hoping that once the lights turned on, we'd flip the switch and our offense would get back going. It just didn't happen for us." Like, I'm confused of why that was the message that he put out there. Like that tells me that you were just being complacent. That tells me that you weren't locked in at certain parts of the season when you could have been fighting for something, bigger than just the division, at least getting the 1 seed. And, we talked about that. And you didn't really, get on a hot streak going into October. And it showed. It showed. And it's just like, it's frustrating as a fan. It's so frustrating because you just don't, like, you don't get opportunities like this all the time every year. Like, how many more times are we going to get a fantastic season from Zach Wheeler? I mean, how many more seasons can we get of a fully, I mean, I know he was banged up a little bit this season, but like Bryce Harper, like he's getting older. And that's the thing. It's like when I bring up Wheeler, like we wasted a good game 1 performance from him. And honestly, I wasn't surprised when we lost that game because it's happened multiple times over the regular season. And that's the thing. It's just like my one point that I look at right now is the writing was on the wall, unfortunately. And I didn't want to keep telling myself that. But now we look at it and that's what it was.
Yeah, I saw a tweet earlier with the ages of what the players will be when 2025 starts, and I just, dude, I don't. That JT quote really pissed me off. It really pissed me off, and that's exactly what I was talking about when I said if you had a serious leader and were accountable and everything else, then nobody would say something like that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody says anything like that, man. Like, you don't. Like, imagine, like, Lenny Dykstra on this team. I heard that comp a lot today. It was if Lenny Dykstra was on this team, he would do this, he would do that, he would do this, he would do that. If somebody said that with, like, him in the clubhouse or, like, a Pete Rose in the clubhouse, they'd get the crap kicked out of them. You need leaders. There's guys that are supposed to be leaders, and they're just I really don't know if anybody's doing their job. I don't. Yeah. And then, Turner talking about, well, it's hard to stay hot for 162, or JT said it's hard to stay hot for 162. Like, dude, that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an excuse. It's not. I'm sorry. And if something needs to be switched back on for the playoffs, that's sad. That's sad, especially for a group of guys that talked about it all year long, including spring training. That's sad, man. That's pitiful. It's pitiful. And it's on everybody. There's 4 guys that I can think of that it's not on. It's not on Castellanos. It's not on Nola. It's not on Sanchez. It's not on Wheeler. And, I'm sorry, it's not on Ranger. That's 5.
Yeah.
Everybody else sucked. They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were awful.
That's the thing. It's just like, we talked about it, I think last night after the game, and it's like how do you look those guys in the eyes and say anything after the performance that you put out the whole series? People that didn't show up, it's like they went out there, busted their butt to get the job done, and you didn't follow through with any sorts of help, like, at all. Like, how do you even, like, stare them in the eye? How do you do that?
I don't know how you walk into that clubhouse if you're Zach Wheeler and go, did my best.
Like,
I'd be pissed, bro.
And John Middleton, too. I mean, let's apologize to him, too. I mean, my goodness. Going out there and just doing everything he can, laying every penny out for this team to get to set them up for success and trusting them to go get the job done.
Yeah.
And
doing everything he possibly could.
Yeah, and he also shared the realms with Dombrowski, which we'll get into Dombrowski talk a little bit later. And just a heads up for anybody that's new coming in and viewing or whatever, and you comment and whatever we see them, we're gonna get to the comments later on, and we'll engage with them in our next block. But yeah, it's just like the going back to the leadership thing. Like, I heard something today they were talking about on the afternoon show, I think, and saying, like, we look at a guy like Bryce Harper, like, yeah, like, we think of him as a leader in that clubhouse and, can get the guys together and whatnot. And they're not saying that he wasn't acting like a leader, but you see a guy like him who goes out and is giving it his all, and he's going out there and doing what he can. And you saw him at certain points of the series getting frustrated. Like, you can see it in his face. And they were wondering if there needs to be somebody else that needs to come in and do a better job of it. Not because Bryce isn't doing it, but it's almost like he is a perennial all-star. Like, he goes out there, he does his job, he knows what he needs to do, and not to make it sound like a selfish way, but is it hard for these other players to kind of tag along with him with how much, like, spotlight or, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, is that, like, they're talking about, like, does somebody else need to come into this locker room and do a better job and take over? Which, I mean, I see the argument there, I do, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's not like the main solution to fix this thing and going into next year. And that's the thing. It's like, now we start, putting these certain guys in conversasations like Harper. And like I said, I'm not saying he was perfect all series. There was opportunities for him to come through and he didn't. I understand that. But even guys like, Castellanos is getting, heckled at. Like and he showed up in this series, and I mean, Schwarber kind of did
412.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
Or
it's
4
just
whatever. Like
yeah, and I don't know. It's just
sad, man.
It's like you said. I was sad last year, but then this year it's like I'm just disappointed, man. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
I'm just annoyed because I
disappointed. That's perfect.
I tried to give them a second chance. I did after what happened last year, and we knew going into the season that they were going to run it back with almost the same team, and we just accepted it and said, okay, like let's just hope that maybe the mindset changed. They talked about it in spring training, like, oh, we're going to cut down the chasing, we're going to cut down all of this, and it just showed that they didn't. They lied. They didn't do anything that changed from last year. They did the same exact thing, swinging and chasing, no patience, nothing. They didn't do any of that.
Trey Turner said something about it, and I don't have the exact quote, but it was essentially like, yeah, we went up there with the plan to not swing, but we did anyway. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, you know what they're going to give you, and you still, like, I'm throwing equipment now. My goodness. Like, I just don't understand, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, they sound like a bunch of losers. Honestly, they sound like a bunch of losers.
On the topic of no, I know they do. I agree. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I mean, staying on the topic of fixing things from last year. There was a person, Sixto Lascanzo. He tweeted out. He said, 2 postseasons in a row, teams told the Phillies that they knew how to beat them, and the Phillies made zero effort to counter. Instead, they moped. The book's out, and they're the only ones who haven't read it.
Yep. 100%. Could have said it any better. I mean, the Diamondbacks showed you exactly what to do. Just pitch them low and away. It's what happened to Bryce in Game 3. He was cheeks. He swung and missed on 3 pitches with 1 out. And I believe it was it bases loaded, or what was it?
I think it was first and second.
Okay,
first and second, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, really, dude. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was a tough spot. Like I said, we praise Harper, but then, when he doesn't come through or he's playing like ass, we'll say something. And I mean, listen, it's just, there was an opportunity there for them to get back into that game and grab momentum. Once again, going back to the momentum thing, just never able to grab any at all. And he didn't come through. And he watched the at bat, just 3 straight swings, no patience whatsoever. I preached that before we went into Red October, of just having a little bit of patience, just a little bit, something, bro, just to keep us in it. And they couldn't even do that. And it's so unfortunate. I feel so bad for guys like Wheeler, Ranger. Like Ranger, pitched his ass off. It wasn't pretty yesterday, but he kept us in the game for the most part. And
you want to hear
couldn't get anything done. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This is from Just Baseball on Twitter.
Okay.
Phillies hitters outside of Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos in the NLDS. 13 for 100. That's a 130 average. No doubles, 1 home run, a 180 slug, and a 430 OPS. That makes me want to throw up. We're paying $1 billion for this lineup. We aren't. Well, I might be, because, I'm a sucker, so I renew my season tickets today. I'm an idiot. I know. But, whatever. I mean, my goodness. 130 with no doubles and 1 home run? And it was on the 3rd pitch of the series. What are we doing? What are we doing? God, I'm just disappointed. Like, why now? Like, Red October lasted for 5 minutes.
And then the bullpen just completely non-existent in this series. Not sure what that was about. Remember, we were ranked number 1 bullpen in the league going into the year.
Oh, I remember.
Then here we are. I mean, our bullpen ended the series with an 11.37 ERA.
Oh.
Gave up 16 earned runs in 4 games, and the Mets hit 357 off our relievers. Like, dude, like if it wasn't one thing, it was the other, man. Like even in game 2 that they won. I mean, they couldn't even close the game out. Vientos hits a game-tying home run off of Matt Strahm. It's just like, I mean, dude, we were close. We should have been swept, dog. We should have been swept.
Yeah.
I hate to take away from the moment in game 2, but
we got dominated.
Yeah.
For what? 33 of 36 innings?
Yeah.
What happened to us is exactly what we did to the Braves the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's it. I just
and
then, don't know how that happened.
Dombrowski's big trade deadline acquisition, Austin Hayes, basically was sent out there in game 3. Like it was almost like a sacrifice, and it was a tough to watch. Like he was just obviously not like he has been injured for like most of the season that he's been with us, and his timing was off, his balance was off,
sick, everything.
Yeah, like unfortunately, like I'm not blaming him too much just because it's unfortunate what happened, but like, I mean, my goodness, what's the point of sending him out there? Just embarrassing the guy. He just goes out there and just has nothing to show for.
That's why, all these people saying, oh, well, Hayes just can't be a Philly next year. I understand. And it was a bad acquisition. But he barely played.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want from him? Honestly. And Rob can't make up his friggin' mind whether a guy's ready to hit left-handed pitchers or not. I mean, somehow Marsh and Stott were ready yesterday and they weren't ready the day before. I mean, what are we doing? What's going on, this team is disappointing, and we're going to look back on this last 3 years, and we're going to have some good memories, but this loss is going to stick for a long time. Time.
And it's going to change, like, a lot for us. Listen, I'm not saying, like, I've heard a lot of people say, like, we're going to be trash for the next couple of years now, like, after all this, and, we're on the decline because, first we came up short in the World Series and NLCS and the Divisional Series, like, all this other stuff, and it's, like, honestly, like, our future, like, with the young guys, it may be bright, it may be, going in a good direction or whatever, but at the same time, it's, like, we don't know what's going to happen going into next season. There's going to be a lot of new faces. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like some of these Phillies fans. Like, I don't think people get that.
The ones that watch the 10 games a year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these people that watch.
And I don't mean to gatekeep, but now's not the time for your crappy takes.
No, I agree. I agree because I can't stand it. I can't stand it. These people that watch like 10, 15 games a year and just come out with these insane takes or just expect things to just automatically change. Like, if you're not watching 130 plus games a year, like, I'm sorry, but you have no room to talk about anything. No outrageous take, nothing. Nope. Nothing, bro. Because you just, like...
Don't worry. Pete, didn't you know the reason we lost was because Stubbs is our backup catcher?
It's just stuff like that, dog. Yeah. Who cares? We have bigger problems to worry about. We have bigger problems to worry about. Yep. And I know it's like I said, I try to give myself a day of my emotions to calm down. But now it's just like I keep thinking about it. I can't even it's annoying. It's frustrating as a fan. Somebody who has we have sat through this whole season, this entire season, probably watched most to or close to every single game of this team.
Yep.
And it's just like it felt like a waste. It felt like a waste. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. And people be like, "Oh, no, it's just not our year. Just not our year." Like, what? Did people not understand the game of baseball? Did they not understand that in baseball you have these windows? Not an actual window, but I'm saying like you have your opportunities to have a team who can get you to the promised land, and that might only last a couple years. Not like, I mean, you look at a team like the Astros from 2017 to 2022. I mean, they weren't in the World Series every year, but they were there most of the year. They were in the ALCS.
They made it to 7 straight NLCSs. Yeah.
Yes. And now look where they're going now in the direction. I mean, yes, they made it the playoffs this year, but a lot of they're going to probably lose Bregman. Like their players are getting older. Like that's what happens when your window shuts. Now, I'm not saying our window is completely shut. I'm not saying that because I don't believe it is. But this is a moment in this franchise right now where it's like there needs to be serious decisions made, and we need to take a look in the mirror and figure out what we're gonna do here, because this team was not put together very well, and it showed in the playoffs. It has showed the last 2 years. Granted, listen, 2022, we were just happy to be there. We were like ecstatic to be in the World Series, but some people will say we should have won that World Series if our bats didn't do exactly what we just did the last 2 years.
Well, okay. So on the bullpen, just for a second.
Yeah, go.
I don't mean that I told you so, but I did say what would happen. Like, why are we just saying, oh, the offense is going to go cold and that's going to be that? Nobody said that the bullpen was going to be bad. I said it was one of the biggest things I was worried about.
Yeah.
And the pitching. Like, they turned the pumpkins. They did. You know what Jeff Hoffman's ERA in the postseason was? 40.50.
Don't want to see them numbers.
40. It's awesome, man. Unbelievable. I can't rant anymore. Like I can, but it's just I just sound like a bumbling idiot.
Oh, I don't care. That's the thing. Like it's like everybody looks at me like I'm a psycho, and it's just because it's like, dude, like we were like, when you have expectations for a team like this, you think that they're gonna get the job done. Like we trust them. You put your trust, you put your money into this team, and this is what they come out and show. And then they seem complacent afterwards. It seems like they don't even care. It doesn't even look like they care. Like they say all this stuff in the post game interviews. Like that gives you absolutely nothing to take away from it. Nothing.
Like, well, that's a good team over there. They did good. Yeah. We got to stop. We got to look within ourselves.
It's just baseball. It is what it is. Like, what?
Bohm said that twice.
Dude. We'll talk about Bohm in a little bit, because we'll get to the comments. Like I said, anybody new has joined. We're going to get to the comments soon. We just wanted to get to our first block here. But yeah, I mean, it's like him and just like other guys, like even Thompson. Listen, I know, like, we don't want to put too much blame on Thompson. It's not like he had a terrible series. There were some decisions that he could have been better at. I understand that. But I mean, even some of his comments in the post game were just like unreal. Telling us, oh yeah, they didn't get tired. They didn't get tired. Or no, wait, did he say that? He might have said they got tired.
They got tired, but they
got tired. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they got tired. Like, what?
But they didn't lose their edge. That's what.
Like, stop. And of course, like, I understand he's not gonna throw his players under the bus. I get that, but come on, man. Come on. Just be real. Save me the misery, bro. Please. Just let me know. Just let me know.
Yeah, but then again, if he wants to come back, he needs to keep the trust of the players.
No, I get that. I understand that. But just be honest, man. Just come on, because we all saw how it was. We all know how it was.
I just keep seeing stats. That's why I'm on my phone. I'm like looking at stats and stuff. It's just like, this is miserable, man. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. We wasted good pitching performances. Our postseason ERA for starting pitchers. So in 2022, it was 3.76, which isn't fantastic, but got the job done. That's the World Series. 2023, it was 2.19, which is crazy good. And this year it was 2.53. And it didn't matter. Because the Mets could have won 3 of those games with 2 runs. I'm sorry, 2 of those games. 1 they would have tied and went to extras. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. It's just disgusting. How you look your teammates in the face after that is beyond me. Beyond me.
Yeah. All right, and you know what? Let's transfer off the team for a second, but we're gonna talk about Dave Dombrowski because there's been conversations obviously about the trade deadline and obviously how disappointing that was, and now it's kind of showing a little bit because they're really like Austin Hayes for example, but listen, so there was a tweet earlier from Joe Giglio, got the name right this time, but he basically listed the major trades and additions since the end of the 2022 World Series from Dave Dombrowski. Now, people have known his history, being a GM and stuff like that, of, sometimes maybe putting terrible contracts out there, not making the best moves, whatever. So this is the list of, the acquisitions that he made. You ready? So 11 years, $300 million contract to trade Turner.
Okay.
He traded Matt Vierling for Gregory Soto. He let Eflin walk and then paid Taijuan Walker 4 years, $78 million after they went to the World Series. And then in 2023 trade deadline, he traded for Michael Lorenzen and then Rodolfo Castro for that was it. Like just those two guys, right? He let Reese walk last offseason, signed Whit Merrifield, and then at this year's deadline, he got guys like Tanner Banks, Estevez, and Austin Hayes.
I mean, that gets any GM fired. If they're supposed to be a viable contender, those 3 off seasons get people fired.
Yeah.
No other way around it. I don't think he should be here anymore. I don't.
Well, I think he is going to be here.
I don't think he should be. I don't. But I mean, bro, what else? Like, I don't know who you bring in for that spot, but I just don't. He clearly doesn't have it. And John Middleton's putting all his trust in him, and I don't blame him because he has a good track record and all and a good resume. But I think John Middleton's going to be reactionary, and I think he's gone.
I'll be very shocked if he's gone, to say the least. I'm not even going to bring up Thompson yet because I know people have been asking if he's going to be here or not. I would be very shocked too if he gets fired, but I'm going to leave that as it is for right now. Yeah, I just think that the trade deadline this year was very disappointing. Obviously, we were waiting for some type of move to happen that might have helped us a little bit more. I mean, you pass on guys like Luis Robert, Garrett Crochet. I mean, guys like Jazz Chisholm that went to the Yankees, and obviously he's making a difference for them. And they talked about the whole thing, how like he didn't fit the locker room, and it's like, dude, like, you know what, like at this point, who cares? I mean, I understand you don't want to break the chemistry, I understand that, but the whole like vibes thing, like, no.
Yeah, I'm done with the vibes.
If somebody is going to come into this clubhouse and make the team better, and I mean, for God's sakes, if they don't agree with you on one or two things, then chop it up as adults and then move on and then go win some games. Like if somebody is going to make a big difference, you can't let all those like those fun vibes and the locker room and the chemistry and we were friends in Vegas and we played together. Like no. So sometimes you got to adjust. Sometimes you got to adjust the changes. I'm sorry. That's just how it is sometimes.
So I was going to bring that up about Harper because a lot of people were saying, he's assistant GM Harper. This is what he does. He brings in his friends. And I'm not going to lie. They're right. Those people are right. Because all he's done is bring in his buddies and everybody hangs out and has a good old time. And Garrett Stubbs stuffs as many Bud Light, or Budweiser bottles in his little pouch that he can. What we got to show for it?
They said he's got to make a decision.
An NL championship, I get it, but he's got to make a decision. He's not hanging. He's either hanging with his buddies and having fun, or you want to win.
I agree. It's got to be. You got to look in the mirror, man. You got to understand. It's like this is like you got to make a decision, man. Like this, and yeah, it's the Dombrowski. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to stay. But they're just gonna have to have some conversations. It's got to be they got to go a different way when it comes to making trades or you know, stuff like that during the season. So,
yep.
All right, we'll take a pause on the venting for right now. I'm gonna do the ad read though. So, do you need a new Philly Sports T-shirt? Philly Goat is your way to go, and you can use the code BTBPod for 10% off your next order. Beyond the Bank is proud to be an affiliate with Philly Goat. Change it up a little bit. You don't have to get just Philly stuff. There's other Philly sports stuff out there. Right now, it's probably not the time to go get Phillies apparel, but if you want to go buy other stuff on there, use the code BTBPod. Shout out Philly Goat in this tough time.
That's terrible, man.
So we'll move into the comments that a couple people left on here. We appreciate it. So we'll start with the first one. Peter Giordano, not me, my pops. So shout out to him. He said, "Who is the voice in the clubhouse? Who is the leader when the dugout is kicking rocks?"
I mean, Schwarber's the voice in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Did you see the one game? I forget which game it was. Somebody took a pitch and it was terrible, or swung at a pitch and it was terrible, and he looked at him and the camera got him go, "Yo, lock in."
Yeah,
or lock it in or something like that. I was like, wow, okay, that's fine with me. But I mean, it's Schwarber, and honestly, you know, I think it's more of if those guys choose to listen to him.
Yeah,
you know.
No,
I think that's the thing with Schwarber.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's definitely Kyle Schwarber. And I know there was talks about like, oh, there was a call earlier on WIP talking about, oh, we gotta get rid of Schwarber. Like what a genius! What a genius, bro! What a great decision to make. Like, let's just get rid of Kyle Schwarber. Like, please, give me a break, dog. Please. But yeah, no, it's definitely Kyle Schwarber. It definitely
get rid
is.
of Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
Might as well get rid of Bryce Harper while we're at it. Give me a break, man.
We might as well just blow up the team.
Yeah. Blow up the team. You know.
I'm not laughing in a good way, by the way, so people know. We're gonna skip to
laughing to hide his pain.
Yeah, we're gonna skip to Connor Murphy's comment. So I wanted to talk about the Alec Boehm thing, but he said, "Do you think this was Boehm's last season on the team after his poor postseason?"
Go ahead, you first.
I personally do. I think it's time to move on from him. I can't lie with you. I got really sick and tired of the tantrums, and I know different people feel a different way about it. I understand. You know, I'm competitive myself. I get emotional during sports. I understand. I get it. But it comes to a certain point where you have to just relax, and it can't be a tantrum every time you don't do something. Like, I understand the guys probably support him, whatever, but to a certain point, they're probably looking at him like, dude, like, relax. Like, we just need you to go up there and put together a good at bat. And it just got to be an annoyance for the most part. I mean, when I was at the game Saturday, you know, I was looking, you know, I wasn't even paying attention to the game. I was looking in the dugout, and there he is slamming his helmet on the ground, just slamming his helmet. Like, I understand it's okay to be frustrated. But, dude, you are in, what, year 5? Like, You're not a rookie anymore. You had playoff experience, but you've struggled the last 2 years. And I don't know, personally, like, from his post-game comments, it didn't give me a good vibe. And I just think if they could figure out a way or find somebody to replace him going into next season, a.k.a. Alex Bregman, if that's possible, please. I think it's time to move on, man. I really do. I think it is his last season with the Phillies.
What? No, it's not going to be his last season. It shouldn't be his last season. I mean, this idea that he's just somehow all of a sudden a bad player is ridiculous to me. Like you brought up Alex Bregman. I looked up the top 5 third baseman free agents coming up in 2025. Okay. You know what his batting average is? 260 over the last 3 years. He's batted 259, 262, and 260. 25 home runs. Like, I don't see the difference in the two. I don't. And he's going to cost triple what Boehm's going to cost you. And to be quite honest, there's 100 different things that lost us that series that weren't Alec Boehm. They weren't.
No, I know, but
He shouldn't go. There's no future at that position somewhere in the MLB that we can get. You know who the second guy is that's next up? Eugenio Suarez, who batted .241 with 28 home runs. I mean, come on, man. It can't be his last year. There's no reason for it.
I don't know.
There's no reason for it.
I know, but I can't do the tantrums. I can't do it, bro.
I get that. I understand.
This is the playoffs, bro. I need you to relax for a second. Just relax.
I get that, and I think he needs to get that in check. I agree. You're 100% correct. He needs to stop complaining. I get it. I fully understand. And Bryce saying, "Hey, we got you," like that should have been it. I totally agree, and I think that comes with time. I understand that you said it was his 5th season because it's what 2020, 21, 22, 23, and the 24. So yeah, his 5th season. I just think that kind of stuff comes with maturity, and sometimes guys are a little behind other people. It just is what it is. It wasn't like he was this top one, like first overall pick star that was forced to mature when he was 16, like Bryce Harper. I don't see the reason to get rid of him. He was second in doubles this year, behind arguably one of the best guys to ever put on a pair of cleats, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, really? Like, I just don't know what we're discussing here. I don't. I'm not saying bat in 4th. He shouldn't bat in 4th. That we could talk about at a different time. But this idea that he's just a bad player because he had a bad 3-4 games and he went through a slump at the end of the season. He just went through a slump at the wrong time. I just don't. I don't see the reason for getting rid of him. I really don't. I'd get rid of Stott over him, honestly.
No.
Stott did terrible all year.
I'm not getting rid of Stott.
But why not?
Because I'm not. Dude, I mean, for God's sakes, he can at least work a count. I mean, how many more times are we going to swing at the first pitch? We don't need to.
Yeah, but let's not act like he was working counts all year.
No, I know, but like it's just no, dog. No.
I think Marsh is going to end up being gone.
Yeah, well, and all right, and that moves us into our next comment. Michael Santamore, he said it's never too early to think about possible roster changes for 2025. What players would you consider moving on from, and who would be your most interesting addition, if you have any yet? Jeez.
I don't have any additions quite yet. There's, I just think that takes time, and I think it also comes with what happens in the next, couple of playoff series here coming up, or that are active right now, and then, the CS and the World Series and things like that. But I don't have any additions yet. I don't know who to move on from. Quite honestly, I'd move on.
I haven't even thought about it.
Me neither. Moving on, it feels like I want to move on from everybody, which obviously is not the case.
Right now it does, yeah.
Like, I just don't. I think Alvarado's going to end up being gone.
Yeah.
Whether I want it or not, I think he's going to end up being gone because I think they think he's cooked. Which,
probably
true or not, who knows? But they think it, and that's all it needs to happen. They don't care what I think. I promise you that. And they showed it in the playoffs that it's very clear that they don't want him in any leverage spots whatsoever. I think Hoffman's going to end up going.
Stop. No, Hoffman's not going. Hoffman's staying.
I think he'll go. I think he'll go. I mean, I think he'll go. I think they're not going to want to pay whatever some other team will.
No, you got to keep Hoffman.
But he's not ready for the postseason. He's not. Like, I think he goes. I think Alvarado goes. I think the bullpen gets really restructured outside of like.
Awesome. Now we got to reset the bullpen.
Like, that's just what I think.
No, I know.
Like,
no,
and whether it's correct or not, that's not what I'm speaking on. But I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah. Because
that's really the only thing that you can really shift around about this team.
Well, in the outfield.
I mean, yeah, but you have, that's true. But I'm talking like crucial things. Like Marsh, you could ideally make a fourth outfielder, but you have to set in stone now and put everything in the works for him to be a fourth outfielder and make sure he knows, hey, this is going to be your role going forward. You know, I mean, sign, don't sign. I got nothing for you, but I think he'd be a good fourth outfielder. And I mean, if you want to talk about additions, there's one guy that, you know, you already know who I'm going to say.
No.
Juan Soto. Why not?
No.
Why not?
I no. First of all, okay, here we go. This is where we start the Juan Soto talk. I couldn't wait to hear this. Okay, first of all, is he even going to leave New York? Probably not. If he leaves,
this is if he ends up leaving New York.
Okay, if he leaves New York, which I don't think happens, but
okay,
is he going to solve the problem?
I mean, he can't hurt it.
Is he going to solve the problem?
He has some of the best plate discipline. He has some of the best plate discipline in the league. I think he solves the problem. Yeah, okay. I think he solves a problem. I don't think he solves the problem. The problem is a lot of different things.
I'm not as high on the whole Soto thing. I understand he's young. That's the good thing. That's a good part that he's young. And I know I know people say he controls the plate very well and stuff like that.
He does.
I don't know.
Come on, man. You don't want 46,000 people doing the Soto slide? Come on, man.
First of all, I mean, how many more millions are we going to dish out here?
See, that's
with the millions that we already dished out, and it's obviously not working.
So me and you are in lockstep on that. The problem, my biggest problem with the thing with that, okay, it's not my money, whatever. But if you're putting yourself in John Milton's shoes, I don't know if I give out another, because that's a $500 million contract, whether you like it or not.
Ridiculous.
And I don't think that we should do that. But again, not my money. So I think he should do whatever he feels is necessary, and I think that's what he feels is necessary.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd rather go after players that maybe we could afford a little bit. I know Anthony Santander has been out there in conversations. People have been like, maybe go after a guy like him. Maybe it's the guy from the Red Sox, O'Neill, possibly going after
Tyler
him.
O'Neill?
Yeah, Tyler O'Neill. I mean, guys like this that could maybe plug in and, could just be not saying as good as people say Soto is, but I mean, close to it and a little bit cheaper, and that could probably, fix a little bit of chasing and all that other stuff. I don't know, man. I haven't even really thought about any additions right now. And players consider moving on from. Like I said, my number one on the list is Bohm, but who knows if that's going to happen or not.
But how did that happen though? Like, where was the turn? See, that's my biggest thing about this whole Bohm thing, that everybody is so adamant that he needs to go. When was the turn? Because 2 weeks ago, everybody loved him.
I know.
I understand that in the middle of a playoff series, I get that. But everybody acts like, well, this is a long time coming. No, it was not. No, it was not. I mean, for Christ's sakes, what was his game hitting streak this year? I don't remember the number because that's how much this season has aged me. But my goodness,
I know. But we talked.
He's his hindrance.
We had the discussion earlier this year. We brought it up and said, who would you rather keep when the situation comes about? Is Stott or Bohm?
Yeah, I said Bohm.
Yeah, and I said Stott. I feel like people are going to keep Stott over Bohm.
But why?
Because it's just, there's more upside, in my opinion. There's more upside for me. I really think there is. I do. I think Stott will be a more dependable player going forward. I do. It is what it is. I mean, it's going to be a conversation as we go through this offseason
for a long time.
It is going to be a long, and who knows what's going to. We could both, we don't know. Either one of us could be wrong. I mean, whatever happens, happens. But listen, it's just there's two sides to it. Let's go to the next comment here. Stephanie Giordano, are you concerned about JT's decline as he's aging? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what. Okay, so I love Stubbs, and I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, if we had a backup catcher this year, we would have won." No. but you need to have a better backup catcher so that way when he's put in the lineup, I don't go, well, scheduled loss. You need a better backup catcher. Rafael Marchand, is an awesome AAA catcher. You don't want him on. Can't have him on a big league roster. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
he can't.
I mean,
and he's
I'm sweating over here.
Yeah.
It's like frustration.
I think if you have somebody that you can put in for JT periodically, it make the decline a whole lot slower.
Yeah, I definitely am concerned about it. I was concerned about it before even the series ended, to be honest with you. Because it's just you could just see it with your own eyes. Is that he had nothing offensively, excuse me, and he was just there for really just defense at that point. Which his defense is still good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, giving us nothing on offense isn't really gonna help our problems here. So yeah, it's a concern, but I don't know. I think with that situation, it's like we're just gonna have to go to some of the young guys and we'll see what happens. And like with Stubbs, I mean, Stubbs is probably gonna be gone, so I think you have to because you got to really kind of make room. Got to make room here for a guy to back up JT that can actually do other things than just bunt. So that would be a little helpful. We move to Gabriella Smith, if you want to read this comment.
Yeah. Shout out Gabby.
Yeah, shout out Gabby.
So, if you could get rid of Turner or Harper or Schwarber, hypothetically, who would you get rid of after their playoff performance?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm going with Turner.
Yeah,
I'm going with Turner.
No question.
Which, speaking of which, leads into the quick topic of that contract looking really bad right now.
Oh yeah, it's looking terrible.
Look at
now with long-term contracts like that, I am a little more lenient as far as like it looks bad this year. It won't look bad 3 years down the road. Like it'll look bad, but like the market sets itself every year. So these guys, like the next free agent shortstop is gonna, be twice that. The next one is going to be twice that. Like,
I mean, there be no word I give up on Harp. Absolutely, 100%.
No way.
And the Schwarber thing is just ridiculous. Like
now, side question here.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you, if you're John Middleton, right?
Yeah.
Or John Middleton and Dave Dombrowski, right?
Okay.
Kyle Schwarber's agent calls you. Hey, we're looking for an extension. He's got 1 year left. 3 years, $65 million. What do you say?
Yes, and hell yes. I mean, dog, you have to. I just, no question. For me, at least. I don't know about you, but for me, I'm keeping Schwarber as long as I can. So.
Yeah, it just Turner was terrible. I think he had a worse playoffs than Bohm.
Well, I do. I mean, it just in both.
And
of them
it was
in
the
general.
excuse making afterwards too. His comments killed me.
The shadows. Can we stop with the shadows is unreal.
Okay, the shadows. Allegedly, both teams were saying stuff about the shadows. So.
Couldn't tell.
I think there's some
on that side.
But why? Because they didn't score until after the shadows were gone.
I mean,
that's why I'm just like, well, it might be true.
Yeah.
Like
I'm saying the next game too. Game 2, even though we won, they hit early. So
who?
Vientos.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying they were getting a lot more done than we were.
You're
so
right.
That's all I'm saying.
You're right.
Which, by the way, Vientos is just killing us.
He's going to be such a pain for the next 12 years.
And I'm not saying this because it happened, but like I could just tell, I could see it a mile away that he was going to be the type of guy to kill us this series. And of course, he does. So add him to the list of continuous Phillies killers over the years. I mean, my goodness, can we shut down guys for like consistent, way?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. You know what? It's just like like you said, there's only so much you can say, almost so much you can rant about. And it's so unbelievable, man. And the fact that it happened to the Mets, I just it's gonna sting for a while, man. I'm not like
I'll tell you what, their families really pissed me off.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we stood behind them, bro. They didn't talk until they had their security there.
Yeah,
and nobody even said anything to them, and then they were making stuff up on Twitter. Like,
whatever.
Did you see what they said?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
Bro, I'm not trying to hear anything from them. I'm not. They showed up in the ninth inning with 1 out left, and that obnoxious ass guy was sitting there clapping his hands. He has every right to clap. I'm not saying he doesn't, but don't show up in the ninth inning and then start doing that and get in my way. I promise you, that's the last thing you want to do.
Well, the families being anywhere near sections of the other fans is kind of
outrageous.
There's
no reason why they shouldn't be in a suite away from everybody else.
I know. I'm just saying, in my opinion, if I'm a family member, I'm like, I want a suite. I don't want to sit down here with these loud, obnoxious fans, which I'm not saying everybody's obnoxious, but some Phillies fans are. So,
well,
I mean,
there was a couple,
yeah, but dude, like, dude, what happened after that?
Rubbed me the wrong way, huh?
What happened after that leadoff homer from Schwarber?
Dude,
we were cheering. I mean, we were going crazy.
And it's funny because Gabby goes, Pete looks sick. It was like the 6th inning. She was like, Pete looks sick. I was like, yeah. I said, I know. I was like, because he knows it's about to happen.
I could see it.
Yep.
I can see it. And then from there on out, just tense, just pressing every moment.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, dude, it's mentally exhausting, bro. It's mentally exhausting. It really is. And it's just like
Gabby said Pete looks sick right now.
I do, because I'm just so I'm so lost. It sounds so dramatic, I know. Like I'm lost. It's annoying, bro. Like nobody gets it. If you're not watching 130 plus games over the season, then you have no idea how it feels. I'm telling you, you don't, bro.
I mean, it feels bad for everybody. Like, there's a lot of people who don't watch that many, and
no, I know,
but
really,
it is more than a game, bro. It's more than a game.
It is.
Like Gary just said in the comments. I don't know if people can see those or not. We're new to this.
No, they can see it. Yeah.
They can. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
That's more than a game at the end of the day. And it's true. Like she told me that, in game 2, it was it was an instant classic. It was one of the best.
Oh yeah. It's kind of hard to look back on now though, because
oh yeah, but if you were there, which I was not, but if you were there, you had those memories for it. Like she said, she was like, my favorite thing was every time they would score, like me and my dad would just jump up and hug each other. Like it's more than a game, bro. Like people bond over this stuff, and everybody that's like, we'll get him next year. Bro, you don't understand. Like, you were talking about that window to kind of close this whole, whatever this is, or to bring it full circle, I should say, not necessarily close it, but you don't know when you're going to get back.
Exactly.
And I think that was very evident in the tweet that I sent out when we won the division.
Mm-hmm.
It was I was 12, you were 11. This doesn't come around every day. At that time, we won it 5 years in a row, but that doesn't happen. That's very rare, very rare. So to me, man, just embrace it while we have it, because it's not always going to be like this.
No, for sure, and it's a good point. I mean, and that's the thing. It's baseball is that type of game where it's a very tough game. I mean, it is a very hard game, and the playoffs are hard. I understand that. And that's the thing. When they lost the World Series a couple years ago, it's just are we going to get back? I don't know. It's so hard to get back here. That's why it's it's so annoying. It sucks. And it's sports, there's a winner, there's a loser. I get it. But man, it's just you have high expectations, man. And it just crushes you, man. You have high hopes, and and I'm telling you, baseball can be a very humbling sport, man. Very humbling, because you could be on the top of the world, and you could be at the
highs and the lowest the lows.
The highest high. Like I'm saying, there's been so many good moments.
A couple years removed from being the White Sox.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. That's
not, but
no, but
that was really bad.
It's the unfortunate part of like there has been so many good moments this year, and we talked about them, whatever, and then now it's like you look back and you're just like the thought of like just wasted is running through your mind, and it stings, bro. It stings. Like it's just like like I said, like when I said at the beginning of the podcast, it just feels like I got fooled, man. It literally feels like I got fooled.
And we look like idiots. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
no, and that's the thing. I mean, I know
everybody, and this was the line that I've been using since the Phillies started losing. This whole season was a charade.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, it goes back to your comment that one time on the episode where you said the outlier about the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, Spike Eskin. Credit to him.
I mean, who knows?
I said it to you yesterday.
Yeah,
and we all thought that the chasing and everything was the outlier, and turned out to be the other way around.
One more topic of discussion, because I don't want to forget this. We still have some time. I don't care how long we go here with this episode. And hopefully everybody sticks around. We appreciate it. Does Topper deserve to stay, or does he get fired?
He deserves to stay.
Okay.
He deserves to stay. He can.
I'm also.
He can lead. All I'm going to say is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put this, because, I mean, like, if a teacher teaches a kid something, they go home and they just didn't retain it, is it the teacher's fault?
No, not really. I mean,
not saying anything bad about kids, but you get my point.
No, I know. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like, there's only so much. Like, when I don't know about you, but when you were in, first and through fifth grade or whatever, your teachers didn't come home and do the homework with you, did they?
No.
All right, then. Rod Thompson can't stand in the box. Rod Thompson can't stand in the box.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. And I mean, listen, I think there's some things that Rob has to do better with, decision wise. But other than that, man, I mean, he's done a good job for the most part. I feel like I can't say that he's been like a bad show for the franchise, but
if you fire him after this postseason, that's a problem. If you fired him after the last one, different discussion. But after this postseason, this was not his fault. He pushed the right buttons, but excuse me. He pushed the right buttons, but all the buttons just didn't end up working out.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because the buttons became buttons for an atomic bomb.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I just can't believe that happened, man. I
can't. So you ready? So I saw Michael Barkan, the
host dude. He's the best, man.
He tweeted out this I guess this from this professor or whatever, like this quote or some sort. He posted on his Twitter, and I honestly saved it because I felt like it honestly fits so well with how everybody's feeling right now. So you ready for this? You ready? The game begins in the spring when everything else begins again, and it blossoms in the summer, fill in the afternoons and evenings, and then as soon as the chill rains come, it stops and leaves you to face the fall alone. From Bartlett Giamatti, apparently, is what he quoted from. And honestly, I mean, that last sentence, just face the fall alone. Yeah, I'm facing the fall right now. I'm facing the fall right now as we speak.
Oh, like this
is like that whole series. That's my hell right there. That was it right there.
Oh, that was yeah.
That
if they were like, here, have a nightmare, what would it look like? That would be it. Aside from like loved ones being like, whatever. That's my nightmare.
that is right there. That is exactly what I just didn't want to live through. And there I am in that moment, living through it. And I'm just like, this is, I wanted to vomit. Yeah, I said it multiple times throughout the couple of days to everybody around me, family, Tal. And I'm just like, yeah, this is my life right now. I mean, listen, I have a pretty good life. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying, like,
also, real quick, because I just looked on Barkan's Twitter to read the quote in full for myself because I got a little bit confused. Full disclosure.
Okay,
but I'm really sick of hearing Rob Thompson say this is the most resilient club he's ever been a part of.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's getting old.
You were around the '96 Yankees, my man. Take a hike. Take a hike and give me a thought, please. Not that again.
We could stop with the resilient thing, okay? Because guess what? They didn't show me no resilience in the last game. Nope. So, and yeah, that was. And once Lindor hit the grand slam, like, come on now. Like, did we all saw that coming, right?
Oh yeah,
right,
dude.
Okay, just fully aware. I just want to make sure I point out this stuff because I don't just got to get it off my chest. Make sure I'm not the only one that sat there. With
I didn't see that necessarily coming, but I saw a big inning coming.
Yeah,
like that itself I didn't see, but yeah,
in that moment,
honestly, we put the brakes on Lindor for most of the series.
I know. Well, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen.
Yeah,
and it's just at that point you kind of just accept your fate, and you're like, yeah, that's wraps. And of course, just in old Phillies fashion, made us have a little bit of hope in the 9th inning because Edwin Diaz just decided to forget how to pitch for a couple of batters. Walks.
Also, yeah. That, and when Castellanos was on first and Bohm hit that fair ball, I'm sorry. I love people that wear glasses, but if you need glasses and you're an MLB umpire, you probably should look for another job. Because seeing's a part of the job. Seeing is a requirement.
I know, like I said, it didn't matter, but yeah, it was a pretty atrocious call. But yeah, no.
It could have mattered, but here we are.
Whatever. Yeah, here we are. Phillies fashion. They gave us some hope at the end. I didn't have any hope actually. I just knew it was gonna not do anything. First of all, I was waiting for a double play, but that didn't happen. So,
Hey, credit to them.
But I'll tell you something right now.
They didn't hit it in any double plays. They didn't get many hits, but they didn't hit it in any double plays.
I'll tell you something right now. Schwarber being the last out was kind of heartbreaking. Was just kind of
that was painful. That was painful.
It was just I was just like, dude. I said, and I told you, I literally told you, I said, and Schwarber's going to be the last out here. I just feel it, and it's starts with the leadoff homer of the series, and then it's the last out. Great,
yep. Perfect bookend.
At least it wasn't Jake Cave this time, so.
Whatever, man.
Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. And let's do this. I mean, looking ahead to this long and dreadful offseason, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a headache right now already thinking about it, to be honest with you.
Bro, I'm not even I'm thinking about it, but I'm not, to me, it's gonna, it still hasn't hit me that the season's over.
No,
I'm sad about it, but it hasn't really hit. I saw a postseason commercial earlier and it didn't have any of the Phillies in it, and that made me sad. But it just hasn't hit me yet. And I think when it does, it's gonna be that's when I'm gonna kick into well, clearly this is the problem. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and find solve all that stuff. It's painful, man.
It is. And that's the thing, it'll take a couple days for me. I mean, I'll be fine by tomorrow, probably. I mean, I'll be able to function correctly or whatever.
Yeah.
I got it out of the way today.
Function correctly is better.
But there'll be moments.
You won't be okay for.
There'll be moments where I'll think about it and then maybe cry. I don't know. We'll see. But
I haven't gotten there.
No, I'm just saying.
Nothing's wrong with people doing that.
No, not at all. I mean,
everybody expresses how it's different. If you want to do it.
I almost cried last night, but we were on the phone watching the final out together. I was just like, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So, listen.
You watched the Mets celebrate. I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, well I had to. I mean, it is what it is. But because when the day comes and we're at the mountaintop, it's all going to be worth it. And I'll say again, it'll all be part of the story. Once we get back to that, once we get down, once we get back to that mountaintop, though, I'm not saying right now, but yeah, that quote.
Gabby down there said, "I bawled my eyes out. Now I'm unemployed." Nothing wrong. Yeah. Hey, everybody processes it different. It
does, yeah. No, I mean,
I'm always in shock when it happens. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I don't know, but yeah, it's we'll see what happens, man. I mean, do you have anything else to say about the series in general? I guess any last minute thoughts, comments.
Not really. I mean, once we do this last outro of the season, it's it's crazy, man.
It is. Yeah,
Didn't think we'd be here. But
did not think. I thought maybe
didn't think we'd be here without a trophy. I'll put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought we'd be here, celebrating, getting ready for NLCS, and then
jokes on us.
Feel like jokes on us, man. Yeah, fold, absolutely fold, and we're gonna, all of us Phillies fans, we're gonna get through it together. So, we'll be, eventually we'll be okay. So hopefully, listen, I'll be at opening day. I don't know about you. So
yeah, I probably will be too. Be there in my overalls and everything else.
Exactly. And yeah, what's called? So real quick, I know I'm just talking now. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. It's sad.
An hour and 10 minutes. Yeah.
But I don't care. It's all good. But listen, shout out to everybody that's on the live right now. Shout out to everybody that commented, put stuff out there. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all your support all season long. I don't know. We're probably gonna we'll give ourselves a good month break before we get back into any looking into all season stuff. Wait till the playoffs are done. I don't know if I'm gonna watch any playoff games. We'll see. But yeah. So we'll see what happens. But we'll be back. And we'll be ready to go once we come back and ready to talk about 2025, man, and trying to go along for this ride again. But yeah, I mean, good job this year. I know I said it in the last live episode that we have, but this is
it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna miss doing this.
Yeah,
at least for a little bit that we're gonna be off. It's gonna be,
it sucks.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that I'm so sad or so bummed that this season's over is because we have to stop doing this.
Yeah, it's gonna
and I'm not just saying that to whatever. I just enjoy doing this because
we'll be back.
We'll be back. Yeah,
and
we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be good, and we'll get through it. But so
per
usual though, if you're new, I mean, you're kind of late, but anyway, it's all good. But make sure. No, I'm just kidding. Make sure to subscribe to YouTube though if you haven't so far. Keep on follow us on social media. I've been saying it all year. We'll be a little. Like I said, there's gonna be a little break, so we might be too active on social media platforms because our team's out, but. Whatever. Follow us on there. We appreciate it.
I'm going to try and get into making some memes here, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. There's going to be some different things going into next year, I feel like, just with a lot of things, so we'll see. But we're going to improve a little bit and get better for you guys. But yeah, it's been fun. Listen to some old episodes. Go back, listen to some.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
The highs of the highs and the lows of the lows.
Yeah, lows of the lows. Went through it all this year. Went through it all, buddy. So
yeah, we did.
Yeah. But I guess we'll give one more go Phils, I guess, even though they disappointed us, but
yeah. All right. Go Phils.
Go Phils. We're out of here. Peace.